On this video, I'm going to share the top ways you can beat demand avoidance. And I've got a Jedi mind trick that will almost always work. Watch till the end to find out. Let's go. Welcome, my friend, and I really do appreciate you watching, so thank you. I'm Orion Kelly, that autistic guy. I'm all about helping you raise your level of understanding, acceptance, and appreciation of the autistic community. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in being a part of, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll join the most amazing community. Here we go. How to beat demand avoidance. My top ways, top hacks, practical tips to implement today. And first, let's just quickly go back over what we're talking about here. Demand avoidance is a condition associated with autism. There's also a diagnosable form, a clinical form called PDA, or persistent or pathological demand avoidance. We're talking about a more subclinical variation, which is demand avoidance. And it manifests among many autistic people. It's basically an obsessional need to resist or avoid demands, which can lead to sensory overload, meltdowns, aggressive outbursts, and burnout. So let's go through some of the top ways you can hopefully beat it. My first tip to beat demand avoidance is advance notice. This is pretty simple. People who experience demand avoidance benefit from knowing what's going to happen. So anything from giving them a quick heads up or even providing them with a clear understanding of what's going to happen at upcoming events is so important and so critical. And you ask, well, why? I'll tell you why. It gives them a sense of control. Demand avoidance and anxiety pretty much interconnected. So if you have a sense of control, as in, I know what's coming up today or this week, I know what's going to happen, I know how it's going to play out, you feel like you're in control and therefore you're less anxious and more comfortable and more willing to do the things that you would never have done if they were just placed upon you. So don't look at it like a tantrum or being lazy or just controlling. Remember, control is about an anxiety to change. And an added bonus for advance notice, advance time, is it provides an autistic person in your life with more processing time, the required needed processing time to get their head around what's coming up. The next way you can use to beat demand avoidance is to stay calm. I know this sounds pretty obvious, but I actually don't think this is how people with autistic people in their life react all the time. So when the autistic person in your life becomes anxious or starts to panic as a result of a demand placed upon them, hand on heart, tell me you always never go near matching their energy. Bottom line is we need to stay calm. So for me, if it's my autistic son or my wife, if it's me, don't want to match that energy. There can be a panic attack, there can be just panic, there can be outbursts, there can be anxiety. It can be very easy to rise to that energy, but it's very important to stay calm in that scenario. So don't fall into the trap of matching their energy. And in turn, by staying calm in the face of their anxiety, you're in effect helping them overcome that anxiety. This may be the best hack, the best tip you are ever going to hear with regards to beating demand avoidance. Although I would say the last one I do near the end of the video, the Jedi mind trick, is probably one of my favorites. But this one is indirect language. Okay, so it's kind of established now, right? We get it that plainly and directly asking the autistic person in your life to do something can often trigger demand avoidance. Example, telling my autistic son, brush your teeth. Won't work. Everyone brushes their teeth, mate. No one wants to do it. We have to do it. Brush your teeth. Won't work. The use of indirect language can be the key to unlocking demand avoidance. And I have prepared a list of examples of indirect language, some of which I use in my own life. So write these down, remember these. This is gold, my friend, gold. Back to the brush your teeth example with our autistic son. Here's what we use. Hey buddy, brushing your teeth keeps your teeth and gums clean and your mouth healthy. And that's why we brush our teeth. Try it. See what happens. Worst case scenario, they have no teeth by 10. If the autistic person in your life always forgets to drink to stay hydrated, this is a great example. Another parenting example my wife and I use with our autistic son. He'll get home from school and his drink bottle doesn't even look like he's had a sip, right? The guy's a camel or something. We don't go, you haven't drunk all day, buddy. Drink. You must drink. You must drink it. No, he's not. Well, yeah, oh yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, I didn't do it all day at school, but now you've told me to. Let me just scull. No. So what we do, we get a drink bottle, not the school one, a different one. We'll fill it up with water. I'll walk up to wherever he is, and I'll just go, "Hey, little buddy, here's your drink bottle if you need it," and then I'll leave. I haven't said you must drink this water. I haven't said have a drink. Here's a drink. I've just said, "Hey, buddy, here's your drink bottle if you need it." And then I've just left. Another example of indirect language could be tell another person the thing you want to tell the autistic person in your life while the autistic person is in earshot of the other person you're telling it to. Now, the next few are basically indirect phrases that I think you can implement rather than just direct, plain demands. Okay, so there's something that you want to get done. We now realize that plainly directing the autistic person in your life to do this thing doesn't always work. So you could talk about the thing that you want done, and then at the end go, do you think we can make this work? How do you think we can make this work? Another example could be, let's see if we can come up with a solution to this. Do you have any ideas? Any solutions to this problem? How we can make this happen? Another example, and this could be used for partners of autistic people, rather than just saying on the way out to work, can you wash clothes today? I need you to do some loads of washing, please. Do loads of washing. Can you do the loads of washing? This might not work. Okay, here's an example you might want to use. Just try it, see what happens. You know, I really can't see how to stop all this washing piling up. I mean, there are dirty clothes piling up. I really don't see how we stop this pile from growing. No one's asked me to do anything, but it's clear my brain has already gone because I have a solution-focused logical brain as an autistic person. That logical side, bigger than the emotional side, is going to go, well, you don't know how you're going to be able to stop it. It's pretty simple. You wash some loads of washing. They're already out the door to work. I'm like, well, I'll put a few loads on. That way I can help with their problem. For parents of autistic kids, rather than clean your room or pick up the toys. And again, all kids have to learn responsibilities, 100%. But there's no use thinking every time you say clean your room or pick up these toys, pack up this playroom before you go anywhere is always going to work. It might work sometimes. There's other ways of going about it though. Hey, little buddy, let's try and beat the clock. All right, let's try and beat the clock packing up these things. Let's beat the clock. Time starts now. And even if you don't do that, you could just say, hey, little buddy, should we try and beat the clock packing this stuff up? And automatically, there's not even a clock involved usually because they get so, they've snapped out of the demand and it's a game. They just do it. Another example around the house for partners of autistic people, I'm just going to use a plumbing example, just generic example. Let's say there's some sort of plumbing issue at our house. My wife could say, you better call the plumber tomorrow. Can you please make sure you call the plumber? Obviously, I'm going to call people, but a surefire way to just navigate this in a much more logical, comfortable way is to say something like, maybe we could investigate that with our plumber. Maybe we could investigate that with our plumber. Now, of course, all I'm thinking after that is, yeah, we should definitely contact the plumber and just kind of talk through, see if it's something he can help us with, right? It doesn't even sound like a demand. I'll give you one more, but I think you get the gist. The power of indirect language, of understanding that plain directions aren't always going to work. They're going to trigger demand avoidance. Get around it. Go indirect. Last example, kids getting dressed for school in the morning. Rather than just saying, get dressed. Why aren't you dressed? Put your uniform on. My wife and I find that by simply saying something as indirect as, hey, little buddy, who would you like to help you get ready for school today? Can actually trigger getting dressed for school. So they already get to choose. That's not a demand. They might use that as a trigger to just get dressed. I don't want anyone's help. I'm good. But either way, we're not making them do anything. We're just suggesting, who would you like us to help? We're all here to help you, mate. Who would you like? The next way to beat demand avoidance is all about depersonalizing the demands. We've talked about indirect language, but now depersonalizing it. This is so powerful and so easy to do. So the starting point is try to not personally ask them by name or by the actual thing you want them to do. Now, this can be done in various ways. For parents of autistic kids, you can use their favorite toys or even their favorite characters from cartoons, from TVs or movies. An example, my 3-year-old loves the cartoon Bluey. So we could use the character Bluey to ask him to do things or to help him do things. Another way we go about this is utilizing a favorite toy. So again, our 3-year-old, we could use his favorite fire truck. What's that fire truck? Fire truck says that firefighters love to share their toys with others. Might not work every time, might not work the first time, but it gets through. And it's better than saying, listen, share your toys. In fact, I think the toy truck has more credibility and authority in our house than me. I get it though. You might think, oh, this sounds a bit too much effort, or it's embarrassing. What do you want me to role play? I hate role playing. Hey, I'm an autistic guy. I know I hate role playing. I'm just saying, if you can get past that, maybe you are a neurotypical parent, if you can get past that and just utilize that role playing through characters and toys, it absolutely can work with the autistic kids in your life. And for adults, depersonalizing it doesn't come through probably the toys and characters as much as it comes through just the indirect language, not using like Orion, wash the clothes, right? Not using the names and the specific things. It's that indirect language we talked about, and also taking out the personalizing of it through specific names, those kind of things. Another hack to beat demand avoidance is provide choices. Again, important to note that anxiety and control go hand in hand. Providing the autistic person in your life with some sense of control through choices can not only put that anxiety at ease, but can actually allow them to achieve things in situations or events that they might not have achieved if it was just a straight out demand. Really clear though, the choice as a rule isn't to do it or not do it. Getting ready for school is an example of this. We might provide our autistic son a choice between two pairs of shoes. Which shoes would you like to put on for school? Now we know that he's going to pick one and put them on. Where if we just had one pair of shoes, what we're really saying is put on your shoes. Another example could be, what would you like to wear today, little buddy? Shorts or pants? They'll pick one and they'll put them on. And to help them along, what's also really useful is to have everything else laid out, right? So if you've got the school, you might bring the school uniform down and put it on the couch or the lounge or the coffee table or whatever, right? And you've given that choice between shoes or shorts and pants, but the rest, it's there. It's ready to go. So it leads to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You know, they're dressed. In other words, getting dressed for school or for work must happen. And it's clear that you have no choice about that. That's not what I've asked you. I haven't said, would you like to get dressed for school or not? What I have done though, is provided control and choices in how that comes together. Another example for partners of autistic people, my wife might point out there's some loads of washing need doing, and we also need some things from the shops. So do you want to do some washing loads, or would you like to go to the shops today? I get a choice of which one I'd rather do. And that can change. Some days I want to go outside, some days I don't. Both these things must happen today. We need the milk and bread. We need the clothes washed. But the control, the choice of which one I'm going to do or how it's going to play out is in my hands. We have reached the all-important Jedi mind trick moment. Thank you for hanging in there. My final tip on how you can beat demand avoidance is use this extremely powerful Jedi mind trick. This isn't a joke, by the way. It legitimately works. What is it? Ask for help. Hear me out. This is a Jedi mind trick that works. And frankly, I don't even know if I should tell you. It feels a bit weird revealing I'm like a magician revealing a secret. But autistic people generally, and I can talk from my own experience, and certainly my sons, we just have like this innate want to help people, to provide some sort of value or use. And honestly, I think it's probably because we see ourselves as not valuable, not useful, not needed. So any opportunity to help someone and feel needed or valuable, is welcomed. We actually really like to do it. I don't know, to me, I just feel like that is just an innate thing there. So the Jedi mind trick is to simply ask the autistic person in your life if they can help you. Or you could tell them you've forgotten how to do something, or you can't seem to work out how to do something. Could they help you? See what happens, my friend. See what happens. You're welcome, Jedis. After my first video on demand avoidance, I got so many comments about, well, yeah, great, but how do you beat it? How do you fix it? So it's only taken me a month to get over the demand of the comments to make this video. I hope it was helpful. I demand you like it. If you like this video, I'd love it if you share it with your family and friends so we can reach more people. Until my next video, thank you so much for your support, and we'll talk soon.